Planning that dream trip in 2025? Before you start packing, let's talk about the big changes happening at the airport. You've probably heard about the new 2025 airport security rules, things like the strict Real ID deadline, biometric screening, and even facial recognition technology at the TSA checkpoint. It's enough to make anyone anxious. You might be wondering about the latest TSA rules for seniors, how to handle flying with medication, or what kind of airport assistance is available. These new airport rules for 2025 sound complicated, but they don't have to be. Nobody wants to be the person holding up a long, impatient line, or worse, miss a flight over a rule they didn't know about. But don't worry, in the next few minutes, I'll give you the essential senior travel tips you need. We'll walk through these updates step by step, from TSA pre-check to your ID, so you can walk into that airport feeling confident and in complete control. And the very first tip could save you from being turned away at security. Let's start with the one change every single traveler needs to know about. The most critical change for 2025 is the nationwide enforcement of the Real ID Act. Starting on May 7th, 2025, a standard driver's license will no longer be accepted as valid identification for domestic flights. This is a federal law that, after many delays, is now going into full effect. I recently saw a gentleman at the airport who was in a real panic because his license wasn't compliant. If your ID isn't Real ID compliant, you could be turned away at the TSA checkpoint. Here's what to do right now. Pull out your driver's license and look for a star in one of the top corners. It might be gold or black, but it will be a distinct star shape. If you see that star, great news. You are all set and your ID is compliant. If there's no star, you need to plan a trip to your local DMV to get an updated Real ID license. Don't put this off, as wait times will only get longer as the May 7th, 2025 deadline approaches. You'll typically need to bring several documents like a birth certificate or passport for proof of identity, your social security card, and 2 proofs of address, such as utility bills. Remember, a valid U.S. passport book or passport card also works perfectly for domestic flights, so you can always use that instead. Okay, you've got your ID sorted. But what happens when you step up to the security officer and they don't even ask to see it? Let's talk about the new technology that's changing the first step of the security process. The next major change you'll notice is new technology at the security checkpoint. Many airports are using advanced biometric screening, which uses facial recognition to verify your identity. Instead of handing your license to an officer, you may simply need to look at a camera. The system matches your face to the photo on your ID, often making the line move much faster. Now, I know that might sound impersonal or intimidating. Honestly, the first time I did it, it felt a little strange. But don't let it worry you. TSA agents are still right there to help, and you are always in control. You can opt out of the facial scan at any time. If you're not comfortable with it, just inform the officer you'd prefer a manual check, and they will verify your ID the traditional way. It's also vital to know that even with this technology, you must still carry your physical Real ID or passport with you. Some states are also introducing digital driver's licenses on your phone. While this is a convenient backup, always have your physical ID ready, as digital versions are not yet universally accepted. While the ID check is getting more high-tech, the rest of the security process is actually getting much simpler for many seniors. In fact, there's one rule that could make your trip through the line a whole lot more comfortable. For years, the security line has been a hassle, but it's getting easier for many seniors. Here's some fantastic news. Travelers who are 75 years of age or older receive modified screening procedures and can leave on their shoes and a light jacket during screening. This makes the process much more comfortable and helps keep the line moving. Even with this helpful rule, there are other ways to ensure a smooth airport experience. While there isn't an official senior assist lane, many airports have lanes designed to offer a slower pace for families or anyone needing extra help. Don't hesitate to ask a TSA officer if there's a better suited lane for someone who needs more time. For the most stress-free experience, I highly recommend TSA PreCheck. You pay a fee for a 5-year membership, and in return you get to use expedited lines where you don't have to remove your shoes, belt, or a light jacket, and you can leave your laptop and approved liquids in your bag. A friend of mine who travels often says that getting PreCheck was the single best decision he made. It turned the part of the trip he dreaded into a total breeze. If you're finding these tips helpful and feeling a little more confident already, please take a moment to click that like button. It really helps the channel and makes it easier for other travelers just like you to find this guide. All right, now let's tackle one of the biggest sources of travel anxiety I hear about, navigating the security line with medications or medical devices. Let's clear up all the confusion so you can pack with complete peace of mind. One of the biggest sources of travel anxiety is worrying about medications and medical devices. Let's clear this up with simple answers. First, for your medications, the 3.4-ounce liquid rule does not apply to medically necessary liquids, gels, or aerosols. You can breathe a sigh of relief here. You can bring items like insulin, eye drops, and other liquid medications in amounts larger than the limit. The key is to declare them to the TSA officer at the beginning of the screening process and keep them separate from your other belongings. While not required, keeping medications in their original labeled containers and carrying a doctor's note can help prevent any confusion. There are no quantity limits on pills and other solid medications. Second, for medical devices, if you have a pacemaker, insulin pump, or a metal implant, you can confidentially inform the officer about your condition before screening. You always have the right to request a pat-down screening instead of going through a body scanner if that makes you more comfortable. And here's a true game changer, the TSA Cares program. It's a free helpline for any traveler with a disability, medical condition, or other circumstance who may need extra support. Call them at 855-787-2227 at least 72 hours before your flight to ask questions or to request a passenger support specialist who can personally guide you through security. I've recommended this to so many people, and they always say what an incredible difference it made. So you've made it through security with confidence, but what about that long, winding trek to the gate? For anyone with mobility concerns, this can be the most draining part of the day, but it doesn't have to be. Let's talk about getting the help you deserve. Navigating a large, bustling airport can be physically draining. Many people don't realize how much help is available simply because they don't want to be a bother. Let me be clear, these services are there to be used, and you deserve a comfortable travel day. The most common service is wheelchair and electric cart assistance, which can take you from the check-in counter all the way to your gate. The secret is to book this with your airline at least 48 hours before you travel. I once saw a family wait for over an hour after asking for a wheelchair at check-in because they hadn't reserved one. Booking ahead is the golden rule here. A fantastic option at some airports is the ability to reserve a specific time slot to go through security, letting you bypass unpredictable lines. This is perfect if you prefer to move at a more relaxed pace. Check the website of your departure airport to see if they offer a reservation program. Finally, listen for pre-boarding announcements at your gate. Airlines nearly always invite passengers who need extra time to board first, giving you a chance to get settled in your seat without feeling rushed. So there you have it. Air travel in 2025 has some new updates, but as you can see, every single change comes with a simple solution that puts you in control. Let's quickly recap the 5 keys to confident travel. First, make sure that real ID star is on your license well before the May 7th, 2025 deadline. Second, be prepared for face scans, but know you can always ask for a manual check. Third, remember the 75 and older rule about keeping your shoes on, and consider TSA PreCheck to make things even easier. Fourth, pack your medications without worry, and call the free TSA Cares helpline if you need extra support. And fifth, book airport assistance through your airline ahead of time to make your journey to the gate comfortable and stress-free. I've personally seen so many seniors who are nervous about these changes follow these exact tips and travel with such ease and confidence. Your adventures are waiting for you, and there's no reason they shouldn't be joyful from start to finish. For more simple travel guides, be sure to subscribe. Now I have a question for you. What are you most concerned about for your next flight? Let me and our community know in the comments below. Safe travels.